Hi friends. Ignore this volcano on my face, please. We're going to cover that up later. So I'm actually wearing liquid foundation already from earlier in the day, but I got pretty oily. So I'm going to use this MAC Blot Powder to just absorb that excess oil. It's just like a translucent powder. Then I'm going to go in with this MAC Studio Careblend Pressed Powder Foundation, which I love. As you can see, I have hit pan. And just do a light layer of that all over my face just to even everything out. And then here we are covering up our blemishes. This is the Sephora Bright Future Concealer. It's a gel concealer that is full coverage. It's amazing. And we're just going to cover up any discolorations and volcanoes on our face. Next, I'm going into the Anastasia Contour Kit with the shade Fawn. And I'm going to do a pretty intense contour. On this day that I'm doing my makeup here, it was actually New Year's, and so I wanted to get kind of crazy. So I'm using this Morphe brush to do a contour on my cheekbones, my forehead, and my jawline. And then I'll use just a smaller brush to do a nose contour here. This is a Sigma E25, which is actually pretty good for a nose contour, even though it's an eye brush. And then I'm also going to bronze, and I'm using another MAC powder. This is the same powder as before, just in a darker shade. And this is a MAC bronzer brush. I think it's the 135. It's incredible, and you need it. Next for blush, it's kind of hard to tell, but I'm using MAC Sunbasque. I don't want to show you this palette for too long because most of the blushes are broken. But I'm using a Sigma F25, yes, F25 to just get this all over my cheeks. Make sure it's right in line with your contour line there, girl. And this is one of my new favorite highlighters. It's the Makeup Revolution Vivid Highlighter. And it's kind of a bright, candlelit glow type of highlight. And I really like it a lot, but I ended up thinking it wasn't enough for this look. So I go into my Bobbi Brown Sandstone Shimmer Brick just to kind of intensify that highlight a little bit. And that's what I'm doing right here. I just wanted a little bit more of a pop on that cheekbone. Moving on to eyes, I'm priming my lids with MAC Painterly Paint Pot. And this is the same brush I used for my concealer earlier. And my first eyeshadow color is going to be Makeup Geek Peach Smoothie. And on a Sigma E35, I'm just going to buff this back and forth as my transition shade in my upper crease. Next, I'm mixing Makeup Geek Bitten on the left and Cocoa Bear on the right. And this is a Sigma E45 blending brush, one of my favorites. And I'm going to show you the actual real amount of time that I spend blending in my crease here, because normally I'll kind of just show you a little clip here and there. But this is the actual amount of time that I spend blending. Like a lot of times on YouTube, you will see makeup videos and you'll think that these people get their makeup done so fast, but these videos are so edited, girl. I tell you what, I spend a lot of time blending my eyeshadow out. So I just wanted to show you the realness. And that is just one layer of these colors. Okay, moving on to the lower eye area. I'm mixing the same two colors on this tiny pencil brush. And initially, I'm just doing this on the outer and the inner portions of the eye and leaving the center blank. But I'm going to change my mind on that later on and just go all the way across with these colors. Next, I'm just taking a clean brush and going over the top of that eyeshadow to blend it out even more before I add another layer of those colors. Next, adding more of the same Bitten and Cocoa Bear. And as you can see, I'm just doing this in the crease, leaving it off of the lid, and another layer of those same colors. And this is how you get your eyeshadow to look more intense, just a tiny bit at a time with a ton of blending. And then back in with that clean brush once again. And how sad, I ran out of beer. Next, I'm taking Makeup Geek White Lies. It's a matte white shadow, and I'm just going to get a little bit of that on my brow bone, just as a little bit of a highlight. Nothing fancy. Then I'm taking Makeup Geek Houdini, and this is a foiled eyeshadow. And I love this color, but I've got to be honest, I should have put a black base down on my eyelid because it took a lot of time to pack this color on to the opacity that I wanted it to be. I spent a lot of time packing this color on. If you're using a shimmery, intense color, put a black base or a white base underneath, and the payoff will be so much better. And I'm so dumb. I don't know why I didn't do that because I know that, but I didn't do it. So here you see me spending so much time struggling to get it as shiny as possible. So make sure you put a dark base underneath. And then finally, I ended up wetting the brush with some Fix Plus just to get the color to be more intense because I got tired of sitting here doing this forever. Next, going into the Artist Palette from Anastasia, I'm using the color Blue Velvet. It's a deep navy matte shade. And on the same pencil brush that I used on my lower lash line, I'm just going to use that deep blue to fuse together the color on the lid with the color on the crease. And right now I'm not really blending, I'm just kind of sketching that line on just so I can get those colors to meet in a way that makes sense. Because if it just goes red and then green, that doesn't really make sense. But if we then take our fluffy blending brush and blend out that blue, it's going to melt all of those colors together. Transition them, if you will. Next, taking that same blue, this is where I'm going to meet all of those colors together on the lower lash line. This is where I kind of just decided against doing that empty middle section. Next, moving on to brows, I kind of half-assed filled them in earlier in the day, so I'm just going to finish the job right now. Nothing different or special that you need to know, so I'm just going to kind of skip over it. Next, I'm taking some e.l.f. glitter primer on the inner half of my lid, and using this Violet Voss glitter. This is in the color Wendy. You can see it's like a white glitter with a teal reflect. I'm going to start packing that on the inner half of my lid. The closer I am to the inner corner, the more glitter I'm going to put, and the further out on my lid I go, the less glitter I'm going to put. Now I'm going to do a winged liner, and I feel that liquid liner goes over glitter the best, better than any other formula. So that's why I'm using this today. And I'm using a Sigma winged liner brush. This is the E06. And I'm first just going to get that right up next to my lash line. That way we don't have any little light colored spaces. And then once I get that sketched on, I'm going to draw on my wing. It's not going to be too dramatic of a wing today. More of a long, skinny one than anything. What I like to do is draw on the actual wing first and then connect the tip of the wing down to the eyelid and then do any sort of filling in that needs to be done from there. And then I'll go over the top of the liner one last time just to make sure the line is smooth and crisp. And in my opinion, I needed a little bit more mascara on the bottom, so that's what I'm doing here. And I also want some black on my lower waterline and in my tight line area as well, because this is a nighttime dramatic look. I really want to add to that effect, and the black really helps to do that. Next for lashes, these are the Lilly Lashes in the style NYC. These are mink lashes. They are very fluffy and lightweight, and they're my favorite right now. So I just apply these in a downward motion onto my eyelashes and then use the tweezers to adjust them, pinch them together with my natural lashes, move them back and forth if I need to. You know the drill. Next for my lips, I'm using MAC lip liner in the color Subculture, and this is like the perfect overlining color. Like if you're looking for kind of a natural-ish color, this one is perfect for that. So I'm just going to line my top and bottom lip and fill them in almost entirely. When I'm overlining my lips, I follow my natural lip line. I just go outside of it a little bit, and then once I get to the corners, that's where I will start drawing in the lines again. And for my lipstick today, I'm using NARS Belle Du Jour. It's like the perfect peachy, effortless nude. And once we fill those bad boys in, we are done with this look. That is the final touch. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to click like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.